you love Indians clearly, because you've made it's now your living.
Yes.
Do you still like them despite that?
Yes. I still love my Indians. I still love going and riding an Indian and looking at an Indian and talking about an Indian. It just doesn't go away.
It's obviously quite a passion, and the owners are probably particularly passionate. It's a brand that hasn't been built for a long time. Is that part of the attraction, do you think?
Possibly. I don't know that it's part of the attraction. It's more because it's just an attractive machine representing a classic period of American motorcycling, and people are just attracted to it. Australians seem to have a particular attraction to it because they were sold in big numbers in Australia in the 20s, and there's a bit of folklore about them.
Right.
But they are popular in little niches all around the world.
From the point of view of that being an owner of a classic motorcycle, what's good about them?
Well, I can only speak for myself. I just enjoy riding a big lazy American V-twin. It's comfortable. We'll cruise at, a model like this one will cruise at a safe highway speed. They're not ideal in city traffic with their foot clutch, but they're very pleasant to go out riding around in the countryside.
Right, and they've got a reputation for being a big reliable thing.
They are a very reliable machine. Once you build the bike and sort it out, I'd comfortably ride the machine anywhere. We regularly do long runs in the Indian Club.
I've ridden Vincent's now since I was 21, and they still give me the same satisfaction as the first time I rode one. There's no negatives. If I had the chance again, I'd buy one. Like if I was a young bloke and I thought, right, I'll buy another bike. And at that time I had the opportunity to buy a new Z900 or the Vincent. And the Vincent was already old by that stage and needed overhaul, and it was the same price as the new Z900. So, but I remember the day I went down and looked at the 900, and I had the decision to make, and I thought, I think I'll stick with the Vincent. That bike was used as the first Chico roll poster bike in 1975 or 76. And what did I get out of it? I didn't get a Chico roll, I didn't even get any posters. I didn't pay a thing for that. And at the time, as you know, now the Chico roll poster sells for sometimes 100, 200, even more money. But yeah, never got anything for that one.
What do you like best about riding it?
Probably not the suspension. Because they're very harsh on their suspension compared to a modern bike. I think the torque, I mean, people would relate it very well these days to V-twins like in Harley Davidsons, or say vertical twins like 850 Norton Commandos. You've got that same roll-on performance.
It's a 1975 900 Super Sport. It's the first of the square case 900s. Before that they had a round case 750. They only made this model for 1 year and they made 246 of them.
Very rare.
So it's quite a rare bike, and it was intended mainly for the Castrol 6-hour. So they built it for the Castrol 6-hour production race in 1975. And of those 246, nearly 100 came to Australia. So it was mainly for the Australian production racing series. Then it evolved into a sort of mass-produced 900. But this is the very last bike with the right side gear shift and the fiberglass tank. No indicators, so pure production racing.
What do you like about it? Why pick this model?
I like the colours, the blue and silver, and I like the way that it's the end of an era before noise regulations, unfiltered carburetors, right side gear shift, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. For someone who's out looking for a classic Ducati, and I know this is a big topic, but what would you advise them to do?
I would look for a 900 Super Sport, not necessarily 75, because it's quite a rare one, but they went through 82, and they were really great. great bike.
In 1973, Kawasaki H1, 500cc, Mach 3.
Yep.
Cool.
So 500 triple two-stroke.
That's right. Yeah, three
Quite a
stroke,
reputation in their day. Perhaps you could tell me a bit about their reputation.
I think it was all just created by magazine reporters.
Okay,
Magazine.
fair enough.
Yeah.
I think I asked for that.
They weren't as bad as they were made out to be.
Yeah. Now, if somebody's looking for, now they're not that easy to find, but if somebody was interested in getting a two-stroke motorcycle of that sort of vintage, what advice would you give them?
Any of their models, they're all pretty reliable, and probably get into a disc brake model. The earlier ones are drum brake, so you get a bit more brakes.
Okay, 69 Bonneville. Now, why did you pick that? You've had a pretty big choice of British bikes over the years.
Well, as you know, I've been I worked at the Triumph Importers in the 70s. I was a workshop foreman at Frank Musset & Co, which were the Victorian importers and distributors for Triumph, from basically about 1974 up till around about 1980. And then I started Union Jack Motorcycles. And then we were actually appointed Triumph agents with LF Harris from 1983 to about 1991, and we still are LF Harris agents, so we do still sell genuine spare parts. Now, why did I pick a 69? Well, that's a good question. It's supposedly the best model I ever made, and the one that the new body is designed off. I personally think probably the 70 was just a little bit better because it had a better crankcase breathing system, but it looked rather dowdy. The 69 had a really nice colour scheme, like Olympic flame and silver sheen. It's very eye-catching, and it's brought out on the new T100 Triumph too, because it is an eye-catching colour. What do I like? The Triumph Twin. They're an honest bike. They wear out, they're simple to maintain, there's plenty of spare parts available for them, reasonably cheap. I'd say the only bike that's cheaper these days would be the Royal Enfield in spare parts. They handle well, they stop well. Yeah, I think 69, 70 is the bike that everybody lusted after when they were around my age, because like I remember walking into the showroom at Musset's before I worked there, and that was a bike you just had to have. Everybody had one. All the boys, all the 1%ers had them. And you pull up and the crowd just stopped. They were like, people are affected by some new bikes now. If you had one, you'd made it. And like they said, are you man enough for Triumph? That was their advertising campaign, and that's one of the things, you'd made it.